Horse lovers. Today, Gina and I would like to talk to you about the use of pressure and why I choose to use pressure and release or negative reinforcement as my primary modality for teaching and training my horse. It's not to say that I don't use positive reinforcement. I do on occasion, but the reason why we like to focus on pressure is there is pressure all around us. Today, Gina is feeling some pressure because it's windy. And when she came to me 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, she was 11 years old and she had no capacity for turning pressure into information. And it's taken me nearly 4 years to be able to just hang on to her on a windy day. When she first came to me on a windy day, I'd be sand skiing on the end of this rope if I decided to try at all to do anything in the arena. So the wind is a pressure because it's influencing her behavior, right? Pressure can be defined in several ways. It can be defined by influence. It can be it can be defined by coercion, and it can be designed by discomfort. Okay, all of those things are natural in our environment. I'd like to be able to teach her to understand that some pressure has meaning and it's important for you to pay attention to it, and other pressure is actually just white noise. So the wind today, I want her to interpret as white noise, but in order for that to happen, the pressure that I have used to teach her how I'm communicating with her and what my body language means has to be meaningful. So when I use pressure to teach her, it's to connect her to my body language. The pressure itself is not the language that I'm trying to teach her. It is a mechanism for teaching, okay? So if I'm using my stick, there are only 2 times on the ground that I'm using my stick in a way that I don't mean for it to be interpreted as pressure. It's if I'm asking her to go sideways, and there's one other. I can't think of the other one right now. But mostly if I'm asking her to go sideways. Everything else, if my stick comes off the ground, I mean for it to make her uncomfortable. That is its purpose. If I use it often enough to just move her feet in a way that doesn't actually make her uncomfortable, I'm not making her responsive. I'm actually making her dull. And the more dull she is to me, the more external pressure will have influence on her behavior. I need her to be responsive to me so that the external pressure, the external influences can become less meaningful. So I'm just going to go through our paces here on what we would normally do in a warm-up to ride. I've shown you that before, and talk you through the use of pressure. The more responsive she is to me, the lighter she is to my aids, the lighter I can be in my communication, the more comfortable that I can feel about how the wind is going to influence her behavior. So we'll just start with a simple backing up. And as soon as I turned and directed my focus and attention on her, she got ready to do what I was asking her to do. So I feel really good about that, all right? It's not super snappy, but she kind of got a little sleepy in the afternoon sun while I sat here and told you what we were going to discuss today. So then I point her in the direction I'd like to go. And I did support it some with my stick, but you'll notice that the tip of my stick did not come off the ground. That's just to clarify my body language. Her body is long and mine is tall. The stick helps my body to be tall, helps my body to be long so that it makes more sense to her when I'm using my body language. So here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to establish a circle right here, and I'm going to stay in neutral. I want to see how she's handling the environment. So I'm not offering her a lot of support or information. I'm keeping the size of the circle the same right now. And at the walk, she says, everything's good. I don't worry about anything. The wind isn't influencing me until I get about right there. So I want her to feel like that's okay. You can have a look, but only for a few moments, and then I'd like you to get back on track. I let her have a look there because I want her to know that I understand her need for that. That's it. So at the walk, all still very manageable. She's not spooking. She just needs a moment to process imagery or sounds or something from over there. And because I gave her that on the last lap, this lap she didn't need to do it. So now let's see what happens if I up the ante a little bit and ask her for some trotting. That's it. That's it. When she stretches her neck like that, she is trying to self-regulate. Good girl. I've spent months, weeks, months, years trying to teach her that. In order for me to be safe riding her, she has to have that skill. She has to learn to take pressure, process it in a way that helps her realize for herself that she is safe. Now, if she didn't get there within a few laps, then I would start helping her. But we're in a process right now where I'm trying to see if she can do it herself. I need her to self-regulate. That was so good, doll. That's it. Super. So my body language is refined and she was still responsive. So that lets me know that although there's some influence from the wind on her behavior, my communication still has more value. Good girl. So it's not hard to tell where the Boogie Monster is today, right? It's in that far corner over there. So I let her have a look so that she feels seen and heard, and then I bring her back to me. That's it. Okay? So we're going to continue to get warmed up for a ride here. I'm feeling really good about having some kind of a ride today, even though it's windy, which is really exciting for us. I hope that you found our discussion today on pressure and self-regulation helpful.